Why is it that whenever you're in front of a blank piece of paper, it feels as scary as jumping off a really high waterfall? I mean, you sit and you stare and you stare and you stare at it until you achieve a state of Zen-like stillness that even the most dedicated yogis would envy. There's just nothing that makes you feel inspired, and you just know that you've been art blocked. Don't worry, the good news is that there's one special secret that will make your art block disappear. And the secret to always feeling inspired is to pay attention to those moments when you do feel inspired. So you're telling me that the secret to always being inspired is to pay attention to the moments when I feel inspired? That's your advice. But actually, she's right. And the biggest reason why people find it so hard to feel inspired is because we're actually not stopping for a moment to act on the things that makes us feel inspired. Because we keep ourselves so busy in our day-to-day lives that we forget to take time to stop and do the things that truly inspire us. And I don't mean jumping off of waterfalls. So by the end of this video, it's my goal to give you a new understanding of how to access your inspiration, why consuming art is important to avoid art block, and what you can learn from a kaleidoscope to escape art block. And the place to start to avoid art block is learn how to access your inspiration. You see, inspiration is like a candle, and it can shine a light on new ideas and help you see things in different ways. Have you ever noticed that when you feel inspired, you feel this warmth and passion inside of you that makes it super easy to create? Well, that means that the creativity candle inside of you is on. And when the candle is on, it can turn your surroundings, thoughts, emotions, and ideas into real works of art. Just like a candle transforms its wax as it burns. But unfortunately, the similarities between inspiration and a candle don't end there. Like blowing out a candle, inspiration can be delicate and easily lost. And the creative flame you feel can quickly go away if it's not nurtured or acted upon. In his book Concerning the Spiritual in Art, Kandinsky says that when an artist feels a strong emotion, they should act on it immediately, because that intense moment can help them create powerful and authentic artworks. So if you're feeling lost or unmotivated, chances are that your creativity candle is off. The good news is that anything around you has the power to create a small spark that can ignite your candle again. As a creative person, you have the power to see that there is magic all around you. You just need to create the habit to stop to notice it. What do I mean by this? Well, next time you see something that makes you happy, take a photo or a video of it. If there's a scene in a movie that makes you cry, write it down or make a small sketch about it. It doesn't need to be a good sketch, just make a note of it. And anytime you feel anything, pause to notice it. At first it might be hard because we're used to just consuming with no end. At least I know I can sometimes fall into that trap. But force yourself to stop for a second to make a quick sketch, write a note, or simply take a picture. Just don't leave it for later, because the inspiration you felt will be lost by then. And this actually happened to me while I was making this video. A few weeks back, I was feeling completely uninspired. Couldn't draw a line even if I wanted to. During that time, I also decided to start rewatching Naruto. And a few times, I felt a little spark of inspiration during different moments of the show. I would think, oh, I want to draw that, or wow, that's a cool pose. But I didn't stop to act on these feelings. So they came and went without me creating anything with that inspiration that I felt. That was until one special episode. This time, I paused the show to quickly sketch a few scenes that stood out to me. Crazily enough, just doing that ignited such a strong fire in me to paint those sketches. I couldn't stop thinking about them, and I couldn't wait to grab my sketchbook and paint. And I hadn't felt that in weeks. And from that moment, this whole sketchbook spread was born. And then this one. The simple act of pausing and making quick sketches transformed my uninspired mood into something incredible. So next time something moves you, make sure to stop, drop, and notice. Inspiration can start as a small spark, but it can grow into something significant if you take the time to nurture it. And to keep that fire going, you'll need fuel. A common myth about inspiration is that it will eventually come to you. But if you just sat there and waited for inspiration to hit you, you'll probably sit there for a really long time. Inspiration is something that you must actively look for. And one way to do that is by enjoying different forms of art. Things like watching movies, listening to good music, going to a museum, an aquarium, or reading a book help you imagine things, feel real emotions, and connect with characters. All these experiences can become a compass for you and guide you out of your creative block. But I must warn you, this is something that you need to proceed with caution. Because it is true that a way to get inspiration is to consume art. The thing is, when you're suffering from art block, making art can feel like running up a hill when you're in really bad shape. And it's easy to get trapped in the road of last resistance, which is to overconsume and procrastinate in making your art. I mean, binge watching your favorite show can be very fun at first, but it can easily turn into a mind-numbing marathon that only fuels your art block. It's all about balance. So before we move on to the next thing to do to escape art block, I'm going to show you something that will help you break that loop if you find yourself trapped in procrastination. And that is the 5-second rule. This became well known thanks to the author and motivational speaker Mel Robbins. And it's an easy trick that always helps me beat procrastination and get things done. So here's how it works. If you find yourself stuck doing things that you shouldn't be doing, the first thing to do is think about what you want to do or the action you want to take. This can be anything, like I want to go and paint, or I don't know, I want to let go of my phone, or I want to go for that walk. Number 2, start counting down out loud. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as you reach 1, go ahead and do it right away. This countdown gives you a sense of urgency and helps you switch from overthinking mode to doing mode. Do it! It helps you get stuff done and build better habits even when you don't really feel like doing it. And if after trying all these tips you're still stuck in art block, let's consider for a moment kaleidoscopes. Anytime you look into a kaleidoscope, you'll see something different. The patterns change and evolve and nothing stays the same for too long. This constant change can inspire you to seek diversity in your art. And this diversity can come from drawing something that you've never drawn before, maybe you can change the size of the canvas that you're using, or even try out that new art supply that you've always been curious about. Different materials will bring out different aspects of your art, as well as new ideas, styles, feelings, and even memories. So consider changing it up and going for that art supply that you've always wanted to try. In a nutshell, next time you're getting ready to defeat art block, remember, when something inspires you, capture the moment with a quick sketch, a picture, or a note, so you don't forget it. Number 2, actively seek inspiration, and if procrastination creeps in, use the 5-second rule to take action. And number 3, if you're still stuck, shake things up. Grab that new art supply that you've always been curious about and let it guide you. And I know from experience that it can be a bit scary to try out new art supplies. But don't worry, in this video I share with you how I move past that fear and my journey as I try Ohu markers for the first time.